Is a quick tour of the CHF Digital Campus. First, there are lots of ways to get to the campus. One of the most obvious ways is go to clarkhulingsfund.org, otherwise known as the CHF website, and simply click campus. You can do that. Another way is to go directly to campus.clarkhulingsfund.org. That'll take you right to the campus landing page. And of course, for an organization that has an entry page, you may have received this by email, you can get there that way as well. No matter how you get to the campus, you'll end up having a login button, and that's the button that, of course, you want to focus on to get in. So we're going to click login. And if you have a password manager, use that. If not, you need to know, of course, your username and password that you registered with. I'm using this one, and I'm logging in now. I will immediately be taken to my home page. I know it's my home page because it's essentially the first page I see when I start, and if I click the menu in the upper left, which is a flashing menu, I'll have this icon that says home that'll take me back here anytime. Again, that icon is up in the upper left next to your name. It's flashing. It's meant to be really easy to see. That is your sort of overall navigation and how you get around and log out. But that's not the only way to navigate. There are also some menu items across the top of your home page and some other things in the list of courses on the home page, and we'll go over all of that. Okay, so first, the first thing I see is the courses, and I will see all courses, whether I have access to them or not, if they're public-facing courses. And so I might be logged in as one of two things. I might be just a member, where I have access to 9 introductory courses, and those courses are marked all members, meaning everybody gets that, even if they are not a paid user. Or I might be logged in as a paid user or a cohort of an organization, such as SWIA. If I'm a cohort of that organization, then I have a paid account that was bundled in with my booth fee, etc. And so that makes me an entrepreneur, which means I have access to all the courses. Okay. So if I want to verify at any given point what courses I have access to, all I have to do is change all to my, and it'll show me just the courses I have access to. And of course, that didn't change. If you're an entrepreneur level, that won't change for you either, because that just means, well, you have access to all the courses, etc. So you don't have to wonder. And there are multiple pages you can scroll through or flip through to see even more courses. So you might say, well, that's a lot of courses, 5 pages of courses to scroll through. Yeah, that's true. And you can sort, therefore, or search by other methods. So you can go by the newest courses, the most popular courses. If you like a particular instructor, you can locate that instructor and see more courses by them. If you want to focus on one of the 9 practice areas, you can pick your practice area. So for instance, sales conversations or sales strategy are in here if you want to work on your brand and marketing, etc. And you can also search for a course. So if I type in sales, for instance, I will see immediately just sales courses, and I can sort that way. Lots of different ways to find the courses I need. No one right way to do it because this is self-directed learning. Okay, so in addition to this, on the home page, I might see a banner across the top just pointing out that something is going on, an upcoming virtual event or something like that, and I may want to pay attention or click through to what that is. Down at the bottom, I'm going to see various news coming in, and this is news from different sources. Oftentimes, if I want to stay in the loop on what's happening, opportunities or art, or etc., I'm going to tune into that. But now I can also get to that stuff by clicking on daily news. So I'm going to talk about your header bar up here for a minute. So first you have your name and go to your profile, and I would strongly encourage you to customize your profile. We'll talk about that in a minute. How much time I've spent in the campus and how many badges I've earned. And I can earn badges by doing more and sort of more in the campus. Okay, and then I have this button called Daily News. So before I go into the profile, I'm going to go ahead and click on Daily News to just show you what it is. It again is just a bigger view of the various articles coming in that you may want to stay up to date about. And this updates by itself very frequently. Now at any given time, remember I can click that icon at the top left, just like I did. Again, there it is. I can click it and get back to my home page. But I can also click that icon and access the same thing I just did, which is daily news. So there's multiple ways to get around in the campus, no one right way, etc. I can use the top bar on the home page. I can use that menu. But for now, I'm going to go to my profile. And I could get to my profile by, on the upper right, hovering over my picture or what should be my picture and clicking profile. It's also a way that I can get technical support, for instance, or manage my account with the campus or sign out. But I can get to it off of this shortcut. I'm going to click Go Profile. And here's where I can edit my photo. I can edit information about me. So for instance, I can put in a lot of different categories of information, including a write-up about my personal experience, professional experience, my various social links if I have a presence on Instagram, Facebook, etc. And of course, the more general information, like my website, my homepage, my email, and where I live. And so right now I can see that my homepage is not current, and I'm going to go ahead and update that right now. And I've updated my profile, and now you can see that it's here, and it will show up when other users look at me when I interact in some of the areas of communication in the community section. Okay. I can also look at any achievements I have. Again, those are badges that I'll earn for different participation. I'll look at courses that I currently have access to. It's yet another way to look at them. And I can click on activity. And this is a way where I can see, any posts that I've posted to the community section, any likes that people have done on those posts where they gave me a yeah or a hell yeah, a best of, and polls and things like that. So we'll talk about that more in a minute. First, let's go back to our homepage. And again, we're going to use just this top navigation up here because it's super easy. I'm going to click on community. And that's where we'll talk about this stuff. And in community, if you're familiar with Facebook, you know how to use this already. This is a place for you to introduce yourself, ask questions, comment on the things you're learning. And there's two ways to do this. One is you can comment right here in the general community area, but you can also initiate or participate in a discussion on any given course. So let's say you're taking the Nail Your Brand Story course, and you have a question about the course, or you have a comment you want to make about your brand story, etc. That's a great place to put it. And people that are in that course at this moment or later will also see your commentary there. They don't have to come to the community section. So we'll look more about that when we go look at courses. Okay. And here I can see friends that I've made, and currently I haven't made any friends because I'm new to this. Polls that I posted, and I did post a poll at one point, mentions where somebody's mentioned my name, and general activity that's going on. And there's other things here you can search and so on, but it's fairly self-explanatory. But I want to go back now to my home page and say, all right, we talked about the courses you have access to, your profile, the daily news, and the community. Let's talk about the resources section. So when I click on resources, which again I could get at the top just by clicking on the menu and going to resources, but I didn't. Now I have different kinds of resources I can access. And this can be my notebook where I keep sort of my own notes. I can add things myself, links and stuff that I want to keep track of. So let's say somebody mentions a link in a given course. Carolyn Edlund often does that, gives out links in her courses. You may want to put it in your notebook as a permanent place of storage. But there are also other things here, like case studies, and you can click on more detail and get more and zoom in. There is a library of different types of data and information here. There are resources of all different kinds on different topics, like your peer network or a calendar of art events or various programs. There's useful links, and this will be growing all the time. And then there's just kind of a mashup of different things here. And of course, they're searchable as well. So if you found that link at one point and you can't remember where it is in the navigation, just type it into the search and you should find it. So I strongly encourage you to make use of this library of resources that's here. All right, we're going to go back to our home page. And again, we're just plowing our way through the top menu, and there's an inbox. And the inbox might be a direct one-to-one message, either that I'm exchanging privately with another member of the campus or even with tech support. So if I write to tech support through the tech support dropdown on the profile, then I'm going to get a response, and that response is going to most likely show up here. So that's your inbox. You know how that works. Again, if you use Facebook or anything like that, let's go ahead and click on people, because otherwise it can seem kind of dead in here. And there are going to be a lot of people that haven't filled out their profile yet. So I just want to let you know that as a best practice, you want to be more like Joe Watson here, who has filled out her profile. She's going to be more interesting, more fun to follow. I'm going to go ahead and follow her, more fun to interact with, just because there's some data there. I'm not talking to an anonymous person. So there are a lot of people that are new to the campus, which is why we have a lot of people that haven't filled out their profiles yet. I would strongly encourage you to do so. And moving on, we're going to go back to our homepage. All right, so I've covered all the stuff at the top, the various things, and just to verify that, I can go up here and look at the menu again: home, daily news, community, resources, profile, my inbox, and people, and it gives me the ability to sign out. I'll also see some latest courses and things like that here, and I can cycle through those and look at courses just another way. So it's really hard not to find courses, and that's going to be the rest of our focus. So let's say that I want to take a particular course. I'm going to scroll down through and find a course that I want to take. Let's say I want to take Sales Mentality, Conversations, and Culture. So I'm going to click on that course. Now I'm taking that course and I have the ability to read a little bit about the course, see what lessons are coming up, what's the course makeup, what are some of the topics. I'm not required to take these lessons in linear order. It's often extremely helpful because one of the lessons will refer back to something that was said in a previous lesson. But they are here for me to jump around. And the reason this is, and it's not just one video on the newest courses, some of the older courses are, is because that allows you now to sort of not have to set bookmarks, but the ability to sort of jump to a given area and just replay that sort of 10-minute segment. And then a lot of courses will have an assessment or a resource or something like that here, and I'll see one here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click Continue Learning. I could go right to a given lesson and just jump on it, but I'm going to click this button, Continue Learning, and it's going to launch the course player. And what's going to happen is the very first lesson is just going to begin to play, and you can see that that's happening. Now, again, I can go through and jump to any lesson I want. So let's say I just want this one, what constitutes buying, and I click on that. It'll begin playing that section, etc. Now, I can also, at this top tab, it's red over here, I can look. I don't have to stay on the path, but if I look closely, I can click on learners and see which other learners are participating in this course. And so one of those, for instance, is Begonia Morton. Here's another one, Carolyn, there's another Carolyn, there's Carrie, somebody named Cricket, Deborah, myself, there I am. So let's just click on Cricket's profile, for instance, and that takes me directly to her profile. So if I want more information about the person that is taking the course, I can find it here. Now it's not completely filled out, we just have sort of a custom photo, that's okay. We're going to go back. I can see that person's enrolled in 71 courses though. And in addition to looking at learners, I can look at and discuss this particular course. So all I would do is type a message in here. This is really valuable. Is one buying signal when someone asks a question about the art. And I can post that. I can also post URLs, images, polls, other things that relate to the course I'm studying, etc. I can share things I found, resources that might augment that or help. So maybe I found an Inc. magazine article that's also about sales conversations, and it might be useful at this segment. I can post it there. So let's go back to the course page. And we're now looking at the lessons and resources and things in the course. There's a little bit about the instructor on every course and place for their information on social media. Let's say from here, I'll see check marks next to the lessons I've started at least. It doesn't mean I finished them. If I still want to jump without even going through that course page again, I can jump directly again to that particular lesson, like developing a sales mentality. I'll stop there though. Okay, so I want to go now at this point to resources and show you what that might look like. So here's a resource, and in this case, the resource could be anything. It could be a self-checklist, it could be a self-quiz, it could be a lab where you're watching people ask questions. If we did this course live and there was an associated lab at one point, that's what it is in this case. It's a lab. It says Sales Mentality, Conversations and Culture Lab. Okay, so I can now watch people ask questions that I might have about this. So there are lots of ways to interact with a given course, and all courses are different. Let's go ahead and go back to our home page. I could go directly to courses. So let's do that this time. Well, actually, I'm sorry. That's right. The home page is where the courses are. So at this point, let's say that I want to choose a course by a certain practice area. Let's do legal and logistics. All right, I see a few courses here under legal and logistics. Let's say I'm really interested in copyright and contracts. So I'm going to click that particular course, and I see that it's got one lesson. So this is one of our older courses where the lesson wasn't broken down. It's only a 21-minute lesson. And then there's a couple of other resources there. So let's go ahead and click the lesson. And why does it say free by it? It says free because you get that even if you're not at the entrepreneur level. So I'm at the entrepreneur level. I get all the courses, but there are some people that only get an introductory set of 9 courses. So they're still members of the campus even though they don't have full access. And that's why it says it. So I started the video here, but in this case, what I really want to focus on is some of the different other types of resources. In this case, there's a Q&A. It's a little bit different than a lab, and this was just a Q&A session that was recorded about this course because a lot of people have a lot of questions and case studies and issues to solve with copyrights and contracts. So you can't cover everything. So we included a Q&A session where people got to bring up specific ones that may or may not parallel your business exactly. And then there's an essay-based quiz, and this is a place for you to write out to check your knowledge, to write an answer, and then there's a button down here at the bottom to click next, and it'll ask you another question. And usually this is something like about 5 questions to help you check your knowledge. If it's not a graded essay, so if you have, don't expect a teacher to come back and say, you did a good job, Johnny, or you did a poor job. This is to help you check your knowledge. If you know the answers to these questions, then you can essentially mark that course in your mind of, yep, I succeeded. I know that information now. If you don't know the answers, you may want to go back and review that course. In the case of a short course here, you can jump around or watch the, fast forward or get to the place you want or watch the whole thing again. In the case of a longer course with multiple segments, you can go right to the segment that corresponds to your question. All right, so we're going to go back to the course page. And then we're going to go back to the home page. And again, I'm just going to scroll through and say everything that you want to be able to do is here, but there's some other items that are on the menu down below or other ways to navigate. And at the same time, if I were to log out, for instance, I would see some menu items at the top, right? And I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to log out. And why am I showing you what's there when you log out? I'm log out, it's going to take me back to the Clark Hulings Fund website, but if I want the campus again, I just click the campus and get that same screen, right? Where I can log in again. I want to show you this because I think you should just know a few basics if you're still with us. One is technical support. Again, there's a link up here, and this technical support basically fires up the technical support section where there are FAQs to answer the most common questions, and seriously, 98% of all questions are here, and that's to save you having to wait for an answer, right? There's a quick support process here that says, hey, get ready for tech support. These are the basic things I would do. And then there's a form to fill out, and that will send a note to our tech support team. Another thing that's here is a little bit of profiling of our faculty. And we have a fairly extensive faculty. Normally you see those on any one course, but this will give you a place to see them all put together. There's also a course catalog. And what you'll see immediately on the course catalog, it has the same sort of sortability that we're used to when we log in. But since we're logged out, we see courses that have prices. That does not mean that if I didn't pay $49, I don't have access. If I have the entrepreneur level access, I have access. But this is for people that didn't, and they're just looking at this from the outside for the first time, right? And so if they were to click on this, for instance, it's going to immediately say they can enroll in the course and give them a choice. You can buy that course a la carte, or you can be the entrepreneur level, which is a $99 a year subscription. Or again, if you're in one of our organizations that has included that subscription in something like a booth fee that you have, such as the SWIA organization, then that $99 was paid for you for the first year, etc., out of your booth fee. And so in addition to courses, faculty, login, I have an about, and this just gives me a quick overview of the digital campus. A little bit of material there so you can understand what we're doing, how we think about it. And then back to the start page gives me those two options. So if I was telling a friend about this and I wanted them to come and register, they would get this when they came to campus.clarkhulingsfund.org, and they would see that, yep, you can become a member. It's not going to cost you anything. You'll get access to 9 introductory courses, or for $100 a year, far less than a Netflix subscription, you can get access to the full campus. And it's not just the library here, we're adding courses constantly. So the entrepreneur has the benefit that the library constantly grows every year. They get more and more courses as new courses come in. And that's a tour of our campus. I just want to say, if you have problems logging in, I didn't cover logging in detail, but you can, when you click log in, there's a place to, if you forgot your password, there's a place to reset your password up on the top menu, etc. It's just like any other password reset you're probably used to.